Hi, Mike and Arlen, our Philippine journey. Thanks so much for dropping by. Why I would not retire in Thailand. It's pretty simple, but let's talk about it. All right?
Why'd you have to go? I guess this world's too slow for you. I think there's beauty in the gray, the cold, but you just want the gold. And there's no way I can beat it, cause I got no chance, no chance when it comes to her. She got the glitter and the fame, and I just wasn't enough.
Okay, let me say this right up front. I love Thailand. I love the natural beauty of Thailand. I love the infrastructure of Thailand. I love the resources of Thailand. I love the food. Oh my God, I love the food in Thailand. And even though Thailand has gotten a little bit more expensive than it used to be, it's still cheap. It really and truly is. It is much easier to navigate. It is much more modernized than the Philippines. It has a lot of advantages. But so why wouldn't I retire? I mean, Arlen has asked, you know, would we go to Thailand? Would we retire in Thailand? And the answer to that is no. I would not. I would not for a couple of different reasons. Some of them are up in the air, but they're legit. Some of them have to do with the fact that we just don't know. We don't have an answer. And where are we going to be? And since Arlen is a Filipino, in the end, her rights here supersede mine, and that's good. You know, they may be able to take advantage of me, but it's going to be harder for them to take advantage of her. So let's look at the first reason, visas. Okay? You can't beat the Filipino visa system. As cumbersome as it can be, as discombobulated as it is, all right? You can't beat it. If you want something similar to an SRRV in Thailand, it's like 23 grand, all right? And it comes with some restrictions. In the Philippines, your SRRV, if you were prior military, it's $1,500, and it goes into the deposit of the Philippine Retirement Authority. They don't really control it, but you have to give them notice before withdrawing it. Okay, and they pull your SRRV. Now, it's multiple entry. One of the nice things it does is it excludes you from an exit clearance. I know that's a lot. You know, it's like a minimal thing on the scheme of how things are computed. But it is one more, for those of us that travel often out of the country, it's not a big deal. But for those of you that only leave the country every year or two, that exit clearance issue comes up and you have to go get that done. But either way, tourists, you're getting a 3-year visa. And you can come and go as many times as you want, and the clock starts all over again. And it's not really a 3-year. I said that wrong. It's not a 3-year visa. You can extend your visa. You don't have to leave the country. You can extend your visa until you've been here 3 years. Then you have to do a visa run, is what it's called. You have to leave the country, 24 hours, whatever, and then come back and start the process all over again. And that is a tourist visa. You cannot beat the Philippines visa system for foreigners, to the best of my knowledge. Maybe you can somewhere else. I don't know. Now, one of the things that's unique is, and it won't apply to a lot of you, maybe, I don't know, but it would apply to people like me. Those of us that are retired and have a source of income, okay? Now, we're not going to get into the argument about YouTube money, all right? And is that taxable in the Philippines and everything else? That's for accountants, the BIR, and smarter people to deal with than us, all right? We're not going to give you that kind of advice. But we have income from other sources. And to the right to work. Those two issues fall into this issue with retirement in Thailand. In Thailand, if you're on a retirement visa, you do not get to work. You cannot get a work permit. Now, sure, you can work under the table. You can do this. We know people that are there working under the table right now, but that's not the life that we want to live. Certainly, we don't want to have to be retired and work, period. But what we really don't want is to be retired and hide. We don't want to worry about anything, which brings us to the next point. The laws in Thailand are very strict, and they penalize very harshly and very quickly. I guess you could say the same thing about the Philippines. But when you start breaking immigration rules, you're starting to get in some big trouble. I do look at the Philippines adjusting their immigration rules. Every country in the world is doing it. I think the Philippines will follow suit at some point. So you may want to consider getting here sooner than later. But the first issue there is working. You can't work on a retirement visa in Thailand. The second issue, income. Now, I'm not going to talk about YouTube income, all kinds of people. And I'm not going to talk a whole lot about some other different parts because parts of this have not been fully explained. Parts of this aren't fully done. But if you're bringing money into Thailand, which most all of us keep our base income in our home country, and it comes and flows into our new country, all right? They're talking about taxing it, or it may be taxable. Now, they are talking about excluding retirement funds that come, but you may have to prove it's retirement funds, okay? And then you have to worry about this year it's excluded. What's next year? What's going to happen further on? Because I think one of the things that many of us need to recognize and understand is some of countries are getting sick and tired of immigrants. In other words, they love tourists. They love tourists. Tourists spend at a rate equal to 3 times the amount of a immigrant expat. Okay? That's because they're on vacation. They came to spend money. Expats live, generally, they have a budget and they're pretty reasonable. You'd be very surprised. I think some countries are getting tired of that. Will that ever happen to the Philippines? I don't know. I have no idea. But it's obvious it's playing a role over there in Thailand. At least it looks like that. Okay? Now, if you've been a long term, and a lot of people are going to disagree with me, and I understand. I really and truly do. I love Thailand. I really and truly do. But I'm at a point in my life at my age where I don't want to put a lot of time and money into a country that I have no rights in. And here with Arlene as a Filipino citizen, as long as everything is in her name, all right, which we are a married couple, it can be, she has much more rights and it's harder for anything to go wrong. We don't do anything illegal. We don't do anything dodgy or shady or anything like that. We pay taxes just like the next person. Okay. But I'm wondering what's going to happen. So for those reasons alone, I would not. I've looked at the political situation and regime change that transpires, it seems like every 15 years or so in Thailand. That doesn't really bother me. Okay. I am worried about the condo market there. Condos are a great bargain right now, and I think they're going to be an even better bargain in the future. They're overbuilt and they're cheaply priced. I would be careful to buy into a complex that's not at least 50% occupied. I would worry about that, but that's neither here nor there. I worry about the condo prices and future here in the Philippines as well. I think they're way overpriced, but they are what they are. But between the visas, the work permits, all right, that's that, and it's not that I want a work permit, but it's the structure of it. It's the structure of saying no, you cannot work. I don't want somebody to tell me I can't work. Okay, and then the idea of taxing income that comes into the country. Now there's all kinds of arguments right now about how to decide what is and isn't. But those three things alone, until they get all straightened out, I wouldn't consider retiring in Thailand. Now, would I hop on a plane and go get some of the best damn food in all of Southeast Asia? You bet. Without a doubt. I would pick Thailand's food over the Filipinos' food every day of the week. I would pick Thailand's food over Arlene's food every day of the week. And she's a pretty damn good cook, all right? But it's just something about it there that I really love. The infrastructure, getting around, everything else. I mean, it has so many positive things. And maybe this is their way of keeping those things positive. I don't know. Hey, look, if you appreciate the information that we put out, if you want to help support our channel, please simply subscribe and hit that thumbs up. We would certainly appreciate it. Otherwise, tell us in the comments below what you think. Thanks.